Well, good morning, everybody. Another nice day shaping up, and slowly getting my strength back together again, so I'm feeling a little better today. But I thought what we would do in between my meowsing cat here is just take a look at some stuff in one of my cabinets, just some stuff I painted, some stuff friends have made, and just fun stuff. So a lot of Ratfink stuff. So I know a lot of you guys like this stuff. So let's take a look and see what's going on. And we're just gonna go through one of these cabinets. So some of this top shelf stuff. This is 3D printed stuff here. This big Ratfink on the skateboard. This was made by John Sparkman. Also this piece in the background, which is a Ratfink airbrushing a model car body. And he's sitting on like a drum of paint. And Lily, go on, stop. I really like this piece. These are nice big pieces. These are all shot in House of Colors urethanes, and really happy with the way these turned out. Some of you have asked about these Ratfinks here, which are not available to anyone yet. I've been very, very lucky. There's a squirrel looking at me through the window. I've been very lucky. My buddy Mike, who's a tremendous artist, tremendous airbrush artist, and in the movie industry, he has airbrushed pretty much all of the outfits for all the Aquaman movies, Daredevil, Wonder Woman, I guess mostly DC Universe stuff. You can find Mike on Instagram. It's he's just really cool. So Mike hand sculpted the original pieces of these Ratfinks. These are like the gumball machine Ratfinks, and he's got one that's a Cyclops here, and then the regular one. And I feel very lucky to have these in my possession because not too many people do. Chuck and I both have a couple of them, and Mike has been very gracious, nice artist friend, and his work is just beautiful. He is intending at some point he's going to build up some inventory, and he will probably release these for sale at some point, so I can keep you updated on what's going on with that. Whoops, let's see if I can knock him over. Mike's a really good painter, and he uses mostly the water-based stuff. I think Createx, Wicked Colors. These are really big and heavy. Way in the back there, that's another skull-handed shifter. That one I got from Andy Cope, and mounted it on my own base there, if I remember correctly. You'd think this cat was starving to death, wouldn't you? These guys eat before I do in the morning. And then there's just a few pieces. Lily, go lay down. This little Mickey Mouse piece back here. That's a Jimmy Flintstone piece. I did that quite some time ago. Kind of Frankenstein motif. This piece here, which is kind of the Bones Brigade kind of skull, if you're familiar with skateboarding, and the Bones Brigade. That's from Josh at, God, I'm drawing a blank here. My mind acting up. It should be stamped. And of course it's not. Oh, Van Chase. That's a Van Chase Studios piece. A little Ed Roth truck here my son sent me with Ratfink on it. And next shelf down here, it's just an assortment of stuff, of resin stuff. Maddie the Mad Modeler, a lot of you have seen this piece. This is available from Escape Hatch Hobbies, and I modified it a bit, you know, to suit my own needs. I used a micro machine to turn it into a model car for him to be painting. Normally it would come with a miniature figure that he would be painting himself, of himself. So I changed that around and added a few things. And then down here on the bottom, there's some assorted. These Mercuries are from Jimmy Flintstone. It's one of the Hot Wheels combi buses that I modified. This is a 3D printed base I got off of eBay. And a lot of these little rat finks came off of eBay. These are either 3D printed or resin cast. This Roth keychain I got off of Instagram from somebody. They did a very limited amount of them a few years ago. I thought that was cool. And then these are some original Gumball Machine rat finks here. This is one of my favorite pieces here, Lowbrow Louie. He was designed by John Mitchell, who's Drag Daddy as an artist. And that was cast by Andy Cope and sculpted by Andy Cope. He brought that to life. It's a really great piece. I've done 2 of these. I did an exact replica for my daughter Ashley a few years ago. And then there's this crazy pinstriping brush here that Chuck sent me. Again, in the background, one of my giant rat finks from Mike back there. I don't know if I can get back there or not with the camera, but that's another one of those giant rat finks. I've got to do some rearranging and get some of those back near the front. This Frankenstein piece in the back here was also sculpted by Andy Cope. I painted that a few years ago. I actually did 2 of these. I did one for Pam Evans, who was Sonny DePalma's girlfriend. In the background here, I mounted these on this plexi. These are Gumball Machine trinkets, monsters. These are hard to get, a lot of them, and they're not cheap. And I bought a collection 4 or 5 years ago. It was listed on eBay and it just said junk drawer clean out. And those were in there. So I literally told the people, keep all the rest of the stuff. I'll buy those pieces for the amount of the auction and you can sell the rest of it. And that's what we did. This little rubber dude that belonged to Sonny DePalma. Just a little bouncy ball with wings. Custom culture piece. It was given to me by Sonny. And then on this shelf, again, another assortment of stuff. These keychains, I can't even remember what year they came out. This is Franco's design, but they had several artists design some different shrunken heads, and that was Franco's. I think there was 4 total. I've got them all somewhere. This is an old AMT kit here, Fred Flintstone on his excavating dinosaur, and I did him in candy purple. I added the leather straps, and then I've just got an assortment of buttons and pieces that friends have sent me. Henry Gerson gave me these original water slide decals. I've got a few of them in there. Really cool pieces, still in the original packages. This is an old Schwinn bicycle speedometer. I caught at an antique shop a few years ago, and I ended up, it's got a crack in the face, but it was like $6, so I wasn't going to pass that up. It's just, that's a cool piece from my childhood. This is the original AMT lug bug, which I'd love to see this reissued. Great piece. I built that at least 20 years ago. A couple of Revell choppers in here that I modified. This one I stretched the frame on, and it's all done in Roth stuff. I don't know if I can get this out of here. Let's see. So I know it's probably kind of hard to see, but I did I hand-did graphics on the tank. Roth's face is on the rear fender. I stretched the frame on this, and as you can see, it's all candies, but the whole tank and everything. I think what I did is I think I hand drew everything on clear decal paper, if I remember, put it on there and then cleared over top of it. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. And then the Tiki bike, this bike made the rounds several years ago. People thought it was actually a real motorcycle in the pictures. God, I got dogs barking, cats meowing, neighbors, contractors are banging on stuff this morning. This is one of those early cast iron banks. And I forget his name right now, but he's kind of a zombie monkey Shriner. I airbrushed him up. I'd been after one of those for quite a while, but he's a cool piece. You can see when you pull the lever, you put the coin in his hand and he throws it through that empty eye socket. He does have one eye, but he throws the coin through the empty eye socket. And then there's some metal pieces back here. I got those from Speed Cult, I think. I airbrushed those quite some time ago. This is also another shifter from Van Chase, which is a really cool piece. It's a giant brush, you know, pinstriping brush. I actually had this on my car at one time, but honestly, it kind of looked like a penis. So people kept asking what it was, so I took it off. So yeah, so skipping right along with that. And down here, a few more pieces. My Rod Shop Corvette, which is a clone. That's not the original kit. I actually had to pick up about 6 of those kits. This is 1/16 scale. Those vinyl graphics were done by a friend of Chuck's. Went on really beautifully. And unfortunately, the guy's not doing that kind of work anymore, but he did a great job. This woodpecker shift knob was in my 32 Ford for years. That was a sculpt by Jimmy C. You don't see this one very much. And I think I sculpted that little eagle head there that was on a cane top. I did that when I was about probably 20 years old. Try to get down here. Oh, shit. Sorry. In the back there, that's a kind of a zombie shrunken head werewolf. Also a design by Ben Mitchell and sculpted by Andy Cope, along with this guy. Andy's cast this one, this flying eyeball. And that is actually a pile of shit with an eyeball with flies on it. He's flying off of. Great piece. There's a bulldog shifter that's from Van Chase. And then in the very back here's one of my favorite pieces, Spaceman Spiff. And I put that on a that was cast by Jimmy Flintstone. And I added the flames that I got off of eBay. And then the little creatures on the base, I did those. That's a 3D printed laser pistol that Chuck gave me. And then the last in the very bottom here, the Giant Frankie. This is actually a resin cast. This is not the reissue from Mobius. I got this about 6 months before that came out, and this thing weighs about 30 pounds. It's made out of resin. And a few more pieces. That's a Jimmy Flintstone shifter. I think you've probably seen that. This is also from Jimmy Flintstone. And then this gigantic hand on the shifter. This was done at Van Chase Studios as well. Love this piece. It's a little gory for some people, but I think it's cool. Got a lot of meat on the end of it, but it painted up well. Really like that. Of course, we're #1 finger. That's a Jimmy Flintstone shifter. Way down there in the bottom is a Purple Passion. That's signed by Larry Wood. I think he signed that, it looks like in 1993 at one of the Hot Wheels conventions. And then I've got a few other little Frankenstein related pieces. Frankenstein Snoopy and a Frankenstein Ninja Turtle. My son got those for me. Way in the back there's some old glitter grips back there. And there's a poster back behind all that Henry Gerson gave me. But I can't quite get back there. I'm not that flexible yet. So anyway, so that's that cabinet. I thought we'd just do one cabinet, and I'll take time and do another cabinet sometime. I'm gonna have a lot of time on my hands in the next couple of weeks, and I'm not building that much. I did do a little drilling and primering out there yesterday. It's getting hot. The heat really did a number on me yesterday. I was outside for a little bit trying to help my granddaughter's boyfriend. Was trying to get the brakes off the back of her car, and he was just roasting in the heat. And of course, bolts frozen up, and poor kid, he worked his butt off out there yesterday. He just couldn't get it apart, so we're gonna have to have that towed to the shop this morning and see if hopefully they can get it apart and get that fixed. So but yeah, I'll just in the next few days I'll stroll around some of these collections and we'll look at some of this stuff up close, because I've got just dozens and dozens of pieces that I've painted in here. Oh, I did go up on top here. A friend of mine gave me this Goofy grape cup. Love that from my childhood. This 30s Woody just happened to see that on the bottom shelf of an antique store that was with my wife and daughter. I was up in Virginia a few years ago. They had just nothing that I had any interest in. And then there, sitting on the bottom shelf, was this Woody. I think it was like $16. I mean, I just grabbed it. It's missing one velocity stack, but otherwise it's just perfect. The surfing trophies belong to one of my best friends, Joey Enyart. And I hung on to those for him still because he doesn't have any room to put them anymore. And of course the big guy from Moana there, Maui. Love him, love that movie. But yeah, I mean, I've got my other cases here we'll take a look at sometime in the next few days. We'll take a look at those and look at some more stuff. And I'm gonna be painting up some pieces for my speed shop. I'd like to get to work on that again. It's too big for me to move. There's no way I can move it right now. I'm just not able to. But we'll take a look at that sometime soon again too. All right, I'm gonna go. You guys have a good day, and I'll splice this with a little short video that I did last night. I'll splice that on there. I wanted to show you the posters that were sent to me as a gift, so we'll do that. So I will see you guys again later. Keep building. Have a good day. Well, I wanted to show these to you guys. Right before my surgery, I received a package here in the mail, and from Scott Harrell, and Scott's up in Ontario, Canada, and he sent me these posters in limited edition. This is his artwork, and yes, I have llamas on my sheets. Of course, you know Tom McEwen and the Mongoose Funny Car, which I absolutely love, the mongoose and snake stuff. And then he's got the, now I think these are all paintings that he did. These are really well done. The Jungle Jim Funny Car. And then he did this one. I think this, he told me, I think the way I read this is that this was a Jungle Jim body that his friend had gotten a hold of, and he repainted it with this Bullet Bob artwork on there, which is really cool. And he said something about, I think he told me that the body was lost in a divorce, which sucks. But haven't heard the whole detailed story because we haven't gotten to talk since I had my surgery, unfortunately. But and he sent me this nice note with some cool original artwork that says "Hang in there, Tim." I think that's awesome. So yeah. Anyway, I wanted to share these with you guys real quick, and I'll probably add on to this video with whatever else I'm doing tomorrow. Okay, see you then.